Commander Jack Reed stood at the viewport of Orbital Station Unity, gazing at Earth. 50 years had passed since first contact, and while humanity had gained the stars, it had lost something vital. At 55, streaks of gray in his dark hair, he was among the few who remembered life before the peace protocols. "Commander Reed," Lieutenant Davis approached, tablet in hand. "The Galactic Assembly inspectors have docked. They're requesting your presence." Jack straightened his blue diplomatic uniform. No weapons allowed, not even ceremonial ones. That was Rule 17. "Tell them I'll be there in 5 minutes." When assembly ships first arrived in 2073, humanity braced for war. Instead, they were offered membership in a galactic community, under strict rules. The peace protocols limited Earth's military and technological growth, ensuring humans remained compliant. The meeting room doors slid open. Inside, 3 aliens waited. The tallest, Ambassador Kell, was a 7-foot, 4-armed diplomat. Beside him, 2 Reek inspectors, short, gray creatures with unblinking eyes, began their routine scans. Jack forced a smile. "The assembly schedule is our schedule, Ambassador." 3 hours later, after exhaustive inspections, Jack returned to his office, locking the door. From his desk, he retrieved a device, a signal jammer, not on any official inventory. Activating it, he pulled up a classified file, Anthropological Assessment of Human Species, Galactic Security Briefing. The peace protocols weren't universal rules, they were designed specifically to limit humanity. Alien researchers had concluded humans were dangerously unpredictable, their rapid innovation a threat to galactic stability. His communicator chimed. Governor Martin of Mars Colony appeared, her eyes red from crying. "Jack, we've been hit. Outpost 3 is gone. Everyone," her voice broke. "Everyone is dead." Jack felt his chest tighten. "What happened?" "They're calling them pirates, but it was a Krull warship. No warning. They claimed we expanded beyond approved boundaries." Jack clenched his jaw. "That expansion was approved 2 years ago." "Tell that to the families of 87 dead colonists," Martin snapped. "I've filed a formal complaint with the Assembly. They'll investigate. In 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Time enough for any evidence to disappear." It was the 3rd attack in 6 months. And every time, the Assembly's response was the same, delayed and ineffective. His private communicator buzzed with a message from an old friend. "Jack, we need to talk. Not on official channels. Meet me at the old place tomorrow. Emma." Dr. Emma Wilson had been Earth's top weapons designer before first contact. After the peace protocols, she had been reassigned to safety equipment research. She had never forgiven the Assembly for clipping her wings. The next day, Jack met her in a quiet park on Earth. At 60, her face showed its years, but her eyes still burned with intensity. "They're not going to help us, are they?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "Assembly investigators arrive in 2 weeks." Emma laughed bitterly. "By then, the Krull will be gone. This isn't random, Jack. They're testing us." "Testing what?" Emma handed him a data chip. "I've been monitoring Assembly communications. They're watching us, waiting to see if we break the rules and defend ourselves. If we do, they'll have their excuse to put us under direct control. And if we don't, they'll keep pushing until they take everything." Jack looked at the chip. "What are you suggesting?" Emma's smile was fierce. "We build a warship." Jack hesitated. "The Assembly monitors every ship we construct. Who said we'll use their approved materials?" Emma pointed at the sky. "There's an old mining facility in the asteroid belt. Officially abandoned. Unofficially, it could be a start." Jack felt something he hadn't in years, a thrill of defiance. "Who else do we need?" Emma's smile widened. "I have a list." The mining facility drifted among the asteroids, dark and forgotten. 3 weeks later, Jack stood in the control room as Emma powered up long-dormant systems. Screens flickered to life. "Welcome to our new shipyard," she said. "What about the team?" Jack asked. "They arrive tomorrow. All with different cover stories." She pulled up a display showing 4 incoming ships. Each one thinks they're here for a classified research project, which isn't exactly a lie. Jack studied the files. Tom Miller, a former space racer. Marcus Lee, an AI programmer who had pushed beyond assembly limits. Diane Foster, a materials scientist specializing in restricted technologies. And Emma herself, the mastermind behind it all. "You've been busy," Jack said. Emma smirked. "I've had 50 years to think about this." The next day, as the team assembled, Jack watched their reactions. "You're asking us to commit treason," Marcus said. "Not against Earth, but against the Assembly. If they find out, we're not just going to prison, Earth will suffer." "Our planet is already suffering," Tom countered. "These attacks aren't random. Someone's testing our defenses." "The real question," Diane added, "is how we hide this from their sensors. They track every piece of metal we mine, every power source we activate." Emma activated a holographic display. A ship design appeared, unlike anything in Earth's fleet. "That's why we're not using standard materials. The Assembly thinks in terms of metal hulls and plasma drives. We need to think differently." She zoomed in on the ship's structure. Biological components, grown from modified Earth organisms, mixed with mechanical systems so primitive the Assembly won't even register them. Marcus leaned in. "Grown ship components? Is that possible?" "Theoretically," Diane admitted. "Deep-sea organisms could adapt to vacuum. But the power requirements." "That's your problem," Emma said. "We need energy sources invisible to Assembly scans." For days, the team refined their designs. They named their ship Phoenix, a symbol of rebirth. Their first breakthrough came when Marcus discovered a flaw in Assembly sensors. "They detect high-energy outputs and refined metals," he explained. "But they ignore biological matter and simple chemical reactions." "They'd never expect us to use something as primitive as steam power," Diane added. Jack raised an eyebrow. "Steam? In space?" "Not exactly. But a similar pressure exchange system. Inefficient by their standards, invisible to their scanners." Jack nodded. "How soon can we start building?" Emma's smile was triumphant. "We already have." 3 weeks later, as Phoenix took shape, the team faced their first crisis. An Assembly patrol ship altered course, heading straight for them. "Routine survey," Marcus reported. "But the timing feels wrong." "How close will they come?" Jack asked. "Too close. If we don't shut down, they'll detect us." They powered down everything. For 26 hours, they drifted in darkness, barely breathing as the patrol ship scanned the area. Finally, it moved on. "They're suspicious," Jack said. "We need to work faster." "We need weapons," Emma added. "But the Assembly will detect energy weapons immediately." Emma smirked. "Then we won't use energy weapons." She pulled up another design, a projectile launcher, primitive but deadly. "Kinetic weapons," she explained. "No energy signature until impact. By then, it's too late." Jack studied the schematics. "Will they work against Assembly shields?" "They'll have to," Emma said simply. The next attack came sooner than expected. Jack's communicator flashed with an emergency message from Governor Martin. Another attack. Europa outpost. 23 dead. Jack felt cold. Assembly response? The usual. Investigating. No evidence of who's responsible. But we got a partial scan this time, Krull Warship. Jack clenched his fists. They're not even hiding it anymore. After the call, he found Emma in the control room, fine-tuning Phoenix's systems. "You heard?" he asked. She nodded. "We need to accelerate the timeline." Jack looked at their incomplete ship. "She's not ready." She has to be, Emma said. Because next time, they won't just attack a colony. They'll come for Earth. Jack stared at the Phoenix, a warship unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Could they finish it in time? Would it even matter? One thing was certain, the rules no longer applied. Humanity's survival depended on what they did next.